controversy I picked was concealed carry. Not allowing lawful citizens to carry a handgun is probably one of the best ideas ever if you're a criminal. Imagine no one being able to defend themselves. Or imagine going on a vacation with your family somewhere and knowing that criminals have people now that can defend themselves. They target you because they know you can't carry handguns on airplanes or stuff like that. So now they're targeting you. Decisions are deeply polarized on citizens' needs for having a concealed handgun. And I will discuss how concealed handguns can escalate crime, the impact of the Second Amendment, and how most carriers are law-abiding citizens. This leads to my first inherent issue of how concealed carry can escalate crime. Pro. States that pass shall issue, meaning you are required to have a license or a background check with fingerprints. Between 1977 and 2010, had a 2% increase in murder rate and 9% increase in the rate of aggravated assaults, robberies, auto theft, burglary, and larceny. A peer-reviewed study of 5 urban cities published in the Journal of Criminology concluded that gun homicide rates on average by 4.5 people for every 100,000 following the enactment of shall issue laws. Los Angeles Police Department Chief Charlie Beck stated, I've seen far too much gun violence for more guns to be good. A gun is more likely to be used, or less likely to be used in a self-defense than what is stated. Concealed carry have reduced murders by, and going into the pros, concealed carries have reduced murders by 8.5%, rape by 5%, aggravated assault by 7%, and robbery by 3%. Although this completely contradicts the first thing I said. Detroit Chief of Police Larry Craig stated, permitting concealed carries are a deterrent and good for the public. Concealed carries. To move into the Second Amendment, probably the most argued issue. The entire Second Amendment states a well-regulated militia necessary to the security of free states to the right of people to keep and bear arms. In the court case Moore versus Magdalene 2-1, the state's Second Amendment rights to bear arms must be interpreted to include the Second Amendment. Leading me into the points of the negatively perceived Second Amendment. According to the Second Amendment, it did not mention anything about concealed handguns, it's just about guns in general. Like most rights, the right secured by the Second Amendment isn't limited or unlimited. Like rounding out my last controversy with our concealed carries and our law-abiding citizens. Pro. An analysis of crime lab data by Nick Leghorn, blogger at the Truth About Guns, noted that concealed carry permit holders in the North Carolina are 5 times less likely to kill someone than the general public, 5.48 times less likely to commit a violent crime with a firearm, and 6.8 times less likely to drive drunk. Christian Science Minority reported that the number of crimes in which concealed carry handguns kill innocent people was a fraction of a percent of gun-related homicides, which means, like, why would you go through all the trouble to get a permit if you're just gonna abuse it? Most times, if you're a criminal, you're gonna do that anyway. The opposing view of concealed carry being law-abiding citizens justified that between 2007 and 2014, law enforcement officers and 662 other people were killed nationally, not in self-defense with a handgun, for private individuals. The violence policy states that a list of concealed handgun permits holders in Texas were arrested for weapon-related offenses at a rate of an increase of 81%, more than the rest of the Texas population. An example being, all being said, this leads to my conclusion reiterating the 3 main inherent issues that can escalate crime, the intentions or interpretations of the Second Amendment, how most concealed carriers are law-abiding citizens. And although concealed carrying is legal in all 50 states, it is still debated whether this helps violence or just fuels the fire.
questions?
I'm not sure if you said, but how many people have like concealed carries?
I didn't really find that, but it's increasing rapidly, especially with Hillary, the thought that Hillary could have been president, knowing that she's anti-gun. It has been, a lot more have been applying.
So like, I know that in Chicago and Illinois, they're very strict gun laws, but how do the crime rates compare in a large metropolis like Chicago compared to another large city in North Carolina such as Raleigh or?
The Chicago crime rate is miraculously a lot higher, which is kind of odd that the crime rate laws are so high, or the gun laws are so regulated, yet they still have the most gun violence. Nate?
People that apply for concealed carry, do people that apply, do they mostly live in urban areas or rural areas?
A little bit of both, mostly urban areas. People like around here, us.
Alright, jump.